You see the hat because I'm pissed. It's dinner time right now. I just finished making another video. So I'm having my pasta, I'm inforchettando, and all of a sudden while I'm eating, I see a Penguinz0 or Charlie Moist Critical, whatever you call it, video. Okay? Nothing crazy. It's all normal. And he's talking about Bungie. He talks about the new lawsuit. All of a sudden, he goes into the Red War campaign and the other campaigns that have been vaulted, and he stops and says, like, I don't want to rant about it.
I have bitched about that for the longest time now, that the campaign you bought when this game came out is no longer in the game at all and is completely inaccessible to the players. I think that is an unbelievably ridiculous concept, but I'm not going to just rant and rave about that like a lunatic again.
Well, you see, I do. Let me tell you why, okay? Let me tell you why. So, I don't know if you remember. Let me tell you a quick story. I don't know if you remember Destiny 1. We were all kids. We used to love that game. We grew up with that game. It was the best game ever. Everybody was sending sick notes to work or sick notes to... Everybody invented the bloody fever. That was mild enough for you to be able to play games, but strong enough for you not to go to school. Okay? We invented that shit. Why? Because we wanted to play Destiny. It was that great. And the game wasn't really that great, but it was for us. Now, on the notes of Destiny 1, many years later, Destiny 2 is revealed. Now, I'm not sure if you realize how big Destiny 2 was, but let me give you an example. There is still today a snake in a fucking desert, under a rock, talking to another snake about the Red War campaign. Okay? Everybody on the planet knows Destiny 2. But that's not the important bit. The important bit is that somehow Destiny 2 at some point gets released. And mind you, when you look on the internet right now, it's a free-to-play game. But that wasn't always the case. What the fuck am I still using this? At some point, it was a standalone game that you buy. Priced as a single-player game that you buy and you play. Okay? It wasn't the live servicing game that we have today. So when it came out, we had to pay for it. We had to pay, okay? He doesn't want to rent. Well, I do. Because we didn't pay like $5, $20 for a DLC. We paid triple studio price tag. Okay? And when it released and millions of players and people played the game, what was the main campaign? The Red War. Why is this a problem? Because we paid for that campaign a ton of money. And then they vaulted it. If you're not familiar with the term vault in Bungie's vocabulary, it doesn't really mean what you think it does. Because in everybody else's vocabulary, vault means you put it somewhere safe for you to keep it and then you take it out later. That is not Destiny though. For Destiny 2 and Bungie, vaulting means to get into the pit of never to be found and played again. I don't know if you get the idea. But I paid, and not me, everybody paid for a game that had only one campaign and was the campaign that we paid for. That was the main content of Destiny 2 at the time, and it was the only bloody content. Then we paid a shit ton of money, and then they said, I'll take it off the game. I will vault this content forever. Now, they did the same with Curse of Osiris, but that was such a... Grandpa Osiris. That was such a bad written content that you could have just thrown it in the bin day of release and we wouldn't care, okay? But the Red War was the main campaign. We paid for that, and let me put it this way. If you came into Destiny 2 like yesterday, and you wanted to see how this whole thing started, you wouldn't bloody know, because there's no way to play it anymore. Let's not rant about it. What the hell? No. Let's. And not only. Course of Osiris. Apparently Forsaken as well, which I wasn't aware of. Like, what the fuck? Forsaken? Why don't we go back to Destiny 1 and we take the Taken King and we shove it up our asses and we don't ever play anything again? Why don't we close everything down? But we just keep paying for a DLC called Nothing to See Here. Eh? Why don't we do that? What the hell is happening? Now, you know, the vaulting put me off pretty severely, because I was playing Destiny pretty much every fucking day, like 250 hours a day. I was practicing the 48 hours ling, shoot, and loot, if you know what I mean. But then all of a sudden, you can't play these campaigns anymore. Like, nobody gives a shit. I don't really want to play them anymore, but I paid for it. I want to play it whatever the hell I want to. Imagine now, I just want to go on the memory lane of how shit was the campaign really, and just go through it all over again with a new character. I've done that. And you know what it sends me? To the fucking Cosmodrome. Fucking shoot me. To the Cosmodrome. That's not where it started. That wasn't where the Red War campaign starts. It starts in the bloody space. You're in a space. You're in a, what's it called? A spaceship. You're going back to the city. And the city gets attacked by Uncle Gary. Alright, that's what you want to play again. Why? Because it's laughable. You lose your powers. Where has that gone? It's gone. And you know, it's fine. But the fact that we paid for that content and we can't play it anymore, Bungie is the only one that... I mean, look, we've clearly seen in time everybody do similar things somehow, and they manage to sneak in some bullshit maneuvers of sorts. But this is vaulting entire years of work for the developers, entire years of investments for the studio, and entire years and thousands of hours of gameplay for us. And you want to know why? I'm gonna burn my legs. Because it's too big. Yeah. Said no women ever. Huh? Because it's too big. Ark Survival Evolved sits at what, 320 gigabytes? It has like triple of what Destiny 2 has in terms of size. Where is too big? Where? Huh? In your dreams? Where? So yeah, let me have this rant, please. I'm talking to a fucking fork alone in my house, please. This is unbelievable. That's a lot to be said about, but you know, you don't do that. You don't just take the toy of the hand of a baby and be like, you paid for it, but fuck you. You know, you just don't do that. Especially because the baby can fucking kick your ass. Well, I mean, it's no ass kicking though, but you get my point. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly do a parenthesis on Charlie's video because he doesn't want to rant. So I rant for him. It's fucking fine. No problem. That's why I put my ranting hat. But yeah. And don't get me wrong, if you haven't played the campaign, it's not that great. Like, there's nothing you're losing. It's what it symbolizes. The fact that you make a digital copy and then all of a sudden you get to eliminate it from the existence of everyone's vision, when I clearly paid for it. Like, if you have gave it to me for free, I would have understand. But I paid $60. That was like a single... This is like Expedition 33 that we just played. Comes out, you play the campaign, you have your game in the library, and then all of a sudden, the introduction prologue, it's gone. They say like, oh, fuck you, we're not gonna keep it anymore, because the game is too big. I'm sorry, Unreal Engine is too heavy, we can't keep that, no. But I paid for it. Now you're gonna take 20% off because you stole my prologue? No, unfortunately we can't do that because we don't give a shit about your money. We just want to take them. We don't need to do anything else with it. I have some cotton in my mouth. I am speaking like Al Capone. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Fuck it. Rant over. So yeah, that's karma for you, Bungie. Because now, because they have vaulted the content, and they said explicitly that it cannot be played anymore, it doesn't run on their engines anymore, because they change engine, you know. It's like a bloody car. They went from a BMW Series 1 to an M3, and now all of a sudden, oh, engine incompatible, I cannot play. Really? Well, whatever. But they said you can't play anymore. And because of that, they don't have enough evidence to show that the lawsuit, it's debatable. And so the judge said, hey, you don't have evidence for that. You can't just dismiss the case, so I'm going to see you in court. If this is not karma at its finest, well, I don't know what is. You're welcome, Charlie.